Yo, what's up, guys? INDUOGAMING.com here. This is Robert. Ran again today. I'm tired. And Sneeko on the other side. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, so you guys obviously do not know this, but this is our third attempt at this podcast for Bethesda. And as I thought about life yesterday, laying in that bed, just thinking to myself, there goes that second audio, just into oblivion. And I will never achieve that audio back. At that moment, I just thought, screw it. We're not going to do the Bethesda conference. We're just going to go over what we thought was cool from the whole E3 2016. Because I'm going to be 100% honest with you, I didn't like everything from Bethesda. I didn't like everything from Microsoft. I didn't like everything from Ubisoft. So why am I going to want to talk about it?
Hey,
I don't want to talk about it. So, you know what? This is INDUOGAMING.com and we do things by our rules. Am I not right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was late, dude. Anyways, so E3 2016. What were your thoughts on E3 2016, Nico?
It was great. I don't know if it was as good as last year, but it was pretty good. They had some solid games this year.
So tell me, what made last year like, dang, this was the year. Like, you think last year's was better than this year's, right?
Yes, cause I think it was better because last year was kind of, I feel like it was like when the PS4 and Xbox One kind of got on solid ground already, and they got their games already, and like the developers knew what they were working off of, and they just knew what they were doing, and they just put all their power into the games, and that the games that came out last year, I feel like were like last year and part of early this year were just the best they can be because they knew what they were doing with the PS4 and stuff like that, and they actually got on solid ground.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would have to agree. I mean, last year they did. Wasn't last year when they revealed Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yes.
And then last year they did the whole Bethesda conference was last year, which that was a big deal. They revealed Fallout 4, talked about Dishonored, all these Doom and everything like that. So that was a big year. It was kind of the first year for a developer to kind of make their own conference.
Yeah.
But someone big like Bethesda. And so, I mean, last year was good. This year, I think it was just as good. I think the standouts for me was Microsoft blew it out of the water. They did so good this year. And Microsoft has always been known, and this is in my opinion, they've always been known to be playing catch up. You know what I'm saying? They're always like trying to find out a way to just catch up with PlayStation because PlayStation is so far ahead of them. So I mean, I think this year Microsoft finally came up and like, you know what? We're not playing catch up anymore. Here's the big guns. Boom! Xbox One S and Xbox One Scorpio coming out next year. What did you think about Xbox Scorpio and S?
I like the idea because, well, especially the Scorpio. Well, the Scorpio I have mixed things on because I have a good reason and a bad reason. The good reason is that, you know, it'll give it more power and it can give the Xbox One like more lifespan. So I'm sure it can go on for another like 6 years, just like how the PS3 did go on for a long time. And for that, with that much power, I'm sure it can go on for a long time. But all that power, I don't know if it's gonna be like used at all because like there's been a lot of like technology where they put all this power into it, but like there's nothing ever like actually made for it. So it's just like just sitting power right there doing nothing. But the Xbox X one, I like it, and I'm sure everyone was kind of expecting it already because usually every year they make a slim of everything. But this one, they didn't just make it slim; they made it like HDR and 4K, which I like. How it's a big
right
jump too. And It's a pretty good price too. It's only like $100 more than the other one. So yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, I think Xbox One S was a great move. Obviously, it looks better than the original big clunky old box that they had because I tell you what, dude, that thing was ginormous and ugly. I'm glad that they finally updated that thing. White looks slick. The new controller by Xbox Labs looks so beautiful, dude.
Yeah.
Like it makes me that controller just makes me want to buy an Xbox One just because of that controller. I was messing around with it the other day, just trying to customize my own. Yeah, it just though like you can only change the colors. That's all you can do. Just change the color of the faceplate, the triggers, the back, the analogs, and just the way the buttons look and the pause and start button, whatever like they called them on the Xbox. But that's it. But still, I mean, you go over with a friend with that sleek looking controller, dude. Man, it looks nice.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Xbox Scorpio was a big slap in the face to PlayStation. Honestly, and I think there was a interview that happened between I forgot who it was, but they were talking to one of the big guys from Sony, and they're asking him is Neo going to be shown at this conference? After Scorpio came out, they asked him, "Is Neo going to be shown?" And I think they've been saying this whole time, Neo's going to come out. Neo's going to come out.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about E3. And then after Scorpio happened, they're like, no, we're going to save that for another day. And I honestly, with being a big Sony fan, I think, honestly, PlayStation was scared with Scorpio. And I think they had to go back to the drawing board and be like, you know what, we need to change this thing up a little bit. We need to make more of a competition. Yeah. Which is cool because it's cool seeing another version of Microsoft.
Yeah.
Because when Microsoft first came out, they were like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and then they kind of deviated when they first brought out the Xbox One. But now it seems like they're at full throttle. Like, you know what, we're gonna be a true competitor and just try to push it. So I really like that from Xbox this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. I think. One other thing was Dishonored 2, part of Bethesda. It looks great, beautiful. I like how you're going to be playing as Emily. And as well as Corvo. The new abilities, the graphics to it looks great. We talked about it before. I think honestly the people can look better. The NPCs and just the way your character looks can look a little better. But I think that's just the style of the game. It has a very BioShock kind of style to it. So, it is what it is.
The gameplay, though, is overall, like, amazing, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's... At first, you're kind of slow, but once you start upgrading those powers, dude, you just start going faster and faster and faster.
Yeah. And, like, just as I was saying, there's, like, so many different ways you can play. And, like, how you can play without powers or you can with powers. And how there's so many different powers and, like, all the stuff and all. There's just so many different ways you can play it. I love it.
Right. No, I mean, yeah, that's a great game. I love that game. I remember when we just had the Xbox 360, and we had like a couple games saved on it, and that was like one of the only games that was on there that I was like, man, I want to play this. And I remember playing that, and that game is great.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else was there? I mean, there was Ghost Recon Wildlands. Love that. That game looks great. Honestly, I think that game shows a lot of. I can see a lot of Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, for sure.
And I can see a lot of Division in it, which is good. But I think that world looks very open, dude. And I think that game looks like it's going to be a fun game when you and me get a copy of that game and we're doing like some Twitch streams and stuff like that. That game looks like it's going to be a fun game to do multiplayer with.
Yeah. The game, though, like, I don't know, most multiplayer games don't always live up to their hype, so I'm hoping this one does. And it seems like it can because they know Metal, like it looks a lot like Metal Gear, and Metal Gear pretty much succeeded. So I'm sure this one will, and I just hope it does well. Most of Ubisoft games, sometimes go down, but hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping for some promise. I think it's gonna be good. I think it'll earn like an 8 maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a 9, but I think at least around an 8.
Yeah, at least an 8.
It looks fun. What were some standouts for you?
Well, the biggest one for me was that. Have you seen the game We the Happy Few?
Oh, dude, I totally forgot about that game. Okay, I just saw the trailer, and it looks so Bioshock like.
Oh
Right?
yeah, totally. That's the main reason why I love it. And at first, I thought it was made by the developers who made Bioshock, and then I searched it. I was like, oh, it's not. But man, dude, that game, like, it just looks so interesting. I just love it. It looks amazing, and like
Did you?
how they do it, and like how you take the pill and it makes you happy, and then if you don't, you like get sad and then like they call you a downer for like a bag, which I thought was pretty clever. But and like the creepiness of it just reminds me so much of Bioshock, and like it's just amazing.
So do you know the synopsis of it?
No, I don't think they actually released that much of some of that story to it, but no, I really
I mean
don't.
the game looks cool, and for a moment there when I saw it, I was like, man, these graphics look kind of cheap. But honestly, I think if there was going to be another Bioshock game, I think the graphics would kind of look like that. You know what I'm saying? That would be like the next step for a Bioshock game. It looks good, and I think it's kind of going to be like one of those psychological kind of games.
Yeah, for sure.
Where I mean, the part that I love the most is when the dude's walking and he's hitting the pinata.
Oh yeah.
And then when he hits it, and then you kind of see like his hand kind of covers the pinata, and all the kids are all hovering over it. And then when he moves his hand away, it's like a rat, and they're eating the rat. And I was like, dude, like this game, the tone to this game looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
Who's making that game? Was it on the Microsoft conference or was it on Ubisoft?
It was Microsoft.
Okay.
But I think the company, I'm not for sure, but I believe it was like their new game type of thing. Like I don't think it was a big company. I think it was like their new thing.
Okay, and is it a Microsoft exclusive?
No, it's coming out for PC and PS4 and Xbox.
Okay.
Which I'm happy for.
Yeah, I mean for sure. I mean that game is gonna be totally something I'm gonna try. What was your thoughts on what you call it PlayStation's conference? What do you think of that one?
I thought it was amazing, but like all of the games were good, but like I'm sure the biggest one for everyone was the God of War one, and
Yeah.
I haven't played. I really don't know much about God of War, but it seemed pretty solid game, and like it reminded me a lot of The Last of Us, and the story seems pretty good, and the gameplay seems really good, but I think that was like the main thing that stood out for me.
Yeah. I mean, real quick, yeah, I know we're kind of jumping all over the place. It's kind of, I think we should probably just keep it a little bit more structured. Okay, so let's go back. I just want to hit like the main conferences. Like we can just talk Microsoft, PlayStation, Nintendo. Like you can just dust off a little bit of Ubisoft under the rug and some of that EA and Bethesda. We're good. Okay, Microsoft. They showed some Gears of War, right?
Yes.
What did you think of that? Because I saw a little bit of it, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. The graphics look good, but for some reason they don't look great to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like, they could have done way better on the graphics, and I don't know if that's just because that's how the graphics are for the original Xbox One, and if they're just focusing on building it for the Xbox S and Scorpio or something like that. But the graphics just don't look as good as they can be. Like, they look like a little bit higher up than like number 3, I guess you could say.
Right.
They could have done way better on it for sure. And dude, they talked a lot about that game. They talked like 30 minutes of that game. But
did they really?
yeah, but like gameplay seems pretty good. I mean, it's the same thing as other Gears of War, cover shooter. I'm sure you played some of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, Yumi played the first one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We played some of number 2.
Yeah, we played half number 2.
And then we skipped and we just started playing multiplayer from number 3. One thing I have to note though is that the jump up from the graphics from number 2 to number 3 is like a big jump for some reason.
Yeah.
Like it looks like there's a totally different look to it. Like number 3 looks so much more prettier than number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it was, but honestly when I saw Gears of War 4, it honestly looked like if Gears of War 3 was just remastered.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. So I don't know. And who's the main character of Gears of War 4?
It's Marcus Phoenix's son, which is the main guy. So
okay, are you kind of excited for that? I know you're a big Gears of War fan. So are you excited to be playing as the son or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, I heard that his dad comes out, and I know how they're like Gears of War is super good at the trailers, and like it just like it's super good. And that one they showed of his dad and all that, like it seems like a pretty good story and all, but I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna like fail it or not because it's like a whole different story than the first three.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it's gonna go, but I think it'll be all right. I just don't know if it'll be better than number three and two and one. So
Right. Is it going to be the start of a new trilogy, or is it just another sequel for now?
I don't think they said it's a trilogy. I think it's just a sequel for now.
Okay. Okay. And Microsoft also showed some Forza, right?
Yes, Forza Horizon 3.
And what did you think of that?
I actually liked it. I mean, I saw the trailer. It looks pretty solid, but like those type of games, there's not much to upgrade other than graphics. But I've seen Forza 6's graphics, and they're pretty good. But one thing, I was actually playing Horizon yesterday, and I've always liked those two games because it's very open world and there's a lot to do, and that was one of my like favorite Forza games out of all of them because it's open world, and this one seems pretty good because it's open world too. So I'm excited to see one of those again.
I mean, Horizon, honestly, no, not Horizon. Forza. Is Forza Horizon 3, right?
Yeah, the new one. Yeah.
Okay, okay. For some reason, I was thinking about Zero Dawn. All right, so Forza 3, Horizon 3, whatever. We'll just call it FH3. Forza has always been kind of like that game for me, even though I love Sony. And Gran Turismo is kind of like their car game.
Yeah.
I've honestly looked at Forza as being the best car game.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people might disagree on that, but I honestly think that Forza looks pretty. It looks like the cars look more realistic. It just has like this real feel to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and especially nowadays because Gran Turismo hasn't come out in a long time. Like it's been like 5 years since they come out with one or what?
Right. I mean, they're planning on coming out with a sequel.
Yeah, I heard about that, and like I'm hoping to see that one like beat out the new Forza because Forza has just been like the best car game for like the last who knows how long. Because I remember when Gran Turismo came out for like the first PlayStation, that was like the big car game. And
Right.
then later on when Xbox came out, Forza came out, and that's when it started kind of, going on top of it. So, and ever since then, Forza has always probably been the best one of all of them. And now that this new one's coming out, the Gran Turismo, I'm hoping to see it beat out Forza in a long time.
Right. Yeah. What was there any other games that Microsoft showed?
State of Decay 2.
Oh, State of Decay 2. That's right. That's right. I never got into it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a top-down view kind of game, right? Or no?
Kind of. Yeah, practically. I mean, it's not super top down, but it's practically like third person, I guess you can say.
Okay.
But yeah, I played the first one, like quite a bit of it, and I love that game because like it has really good RPG elements and like the structures and like where you go and like your base and all that, and how you can upgrade stuff and how you can take different people and upgrade those people. Like it was just a super good game. But the only thing I didn't like about it though was there was like a lot of bugs and the graphics could have been way better. And there was
Right.
like and the sense of direction in the game was kind of weird. So that's the only reason why I kind of stopped playing it. But that game was pretty solid. It had a lot of potential, and the trailer to the new one, the graphics look way better, and like it just looks way smoother too. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of anything else from Microsoft other than Xbox One S, Scorpio, and the Xbox Labs controller. After that was PlayStation. PlayStation came out. I honestly, and this is, and it probably is biased because PlayStation fan all the way. But even though Microsoft did come out with the big guns with One S and Scorpio, I honestly think that in terms of games and just conference overall, I think PlayStation had the best conference out of everybody because they honestly didn't just stop and talk about everything. You know what I mean? There's like,
Yeah.
all right, this game now, 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 this game, and it's like, dude, so much stuff is coming out, and so yeah, I think it was a good conference, and man, they talked about a lot. One of them, Detroit Becoming Human,
Oh yeah.
was talked about. Dude, that game looks great.
Yeah.
It looks like it's gonna be a good one. And I've wanted to play Beyond Two Souls. I just didn't get into it because so many people were like, it's not good. It's like, it's kind of all over the place. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to just dedicate my time to something that just probably wasn't that good when I could have probably played something better.
Yeah.
And so I never put my time into it. But Detroit Becoming Human looks phenomenal, and the teaser that they showed just made you go like, bruh.
Yeah.
Like, this game is gonna be good, and I love the different outcomes that you can make.
There's like a lot. Like once you pick this one, and then but if you pick this one, like there's like 3 different types, and then if you click this other one, it's another one. It's just a lot of different outcomes. It's crazy.
Right. I mean, and I love the way it ended, because they could have ended it to be like, they could have ended the whole trailer like the robot lets go with the girl, and he's like, you know what, I'm coming in, we're gonna be good, everyone's chill, and like, yeah, you know, the good ending. But no, it's kind of like he lets the girl go, and he's like, okay, you know, I'm thinking I'm gonna change now, so poof, they just shoots the guy. I'm like, I was like, dude, they did it. And so that game looks cool, and it actually looks beautiful. It looks like a really pretty game. Other than that, they showed Days Gone. What did you think of that?
Days Gone is the zombie one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one looks pretty good. Was it just announced this year?
Well, okay, so Sony Benz made it. People knew that Benz was making the game for a good while. They just never said what it was. Some people thought the title of the game was going to be called Dead Don't Ride. But then they officially released it last week, called Days Gone. Okay. So, I mean, what the funny thing about that game is that it's running on Unreal Engine 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's what makes it weird is that it's a first party game running on Unreal Engine 4. Like, you would think that they like the developers would have their own engine. I mean, Naughty Dog has their own engine, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you would think. But
overall the game looked great. I feel like it'll like the story. I feel like it will be like a really good like Last of Us story. Like it looks like a really good story, and overall, like I mean, there's been a lot of zombie games out nowadays, and a lot of them are the only one I've actually seen that pretty much lives up to it is The Walking Dead and The Last of Us. Those 2 games are the best ones out of all of them, in my opinion. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell which one's like gonna be better because there's so many of them. So I'm hoping this one's gonna be good, and it looks pretty solid. So I think this game's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I mean it looks good. I love the some of the gameplay that they showed. The main character was like running away, what's cool is though that the main character is like a biker dude. Yeah. Like it just seems legit. He was running, and like when he looked back, like the zombies were like in a train cart, and like they were banging on the door. Then all of a sudden when the doors opened up, like tons of zombies were just piling out, and it had like this World War Z kind of feel to it. But yeah, I'm excited for that game. That game looks good, even though it's running on Unreal Engine 4. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
Let's see. They talked about Hideo Kojima came out, baby. Hideo Kojima is back. He's alive. He's breathing, and he's bringing his friend Norman Reedus with him. Bruh, he walked on some neon lights, dude, and he was just. When I saw him walking down that stage, he wasn't walking, dude. He was floating on thin air, dude. He was floating all the way down to the edge. But that trailer is, I mean, the most of the public is like, dude, what the heck is this trailer all about? But being a big Hideo Kojima fan, I mean, Metal Gear Solid all the way, love that game. One of my favorite games of all time. Oh, yeah. Favorite franchises of all time. I have so much trust in Kojima-san. Of course. And I think Death Stranding is gonna be good. The trailer was weird. Obviously, it's a Japanese game made by Hideo Kojima. It's gonna be weird. Yeah. But I just love how he finally got Norman Reedus to come back and just work with him again. But I think that game's probably gonna be really, really cool. I can't wait.
Yeah, for sure. Like Hideo Kojima, like if it's made by him, you know it's gonna be good. Like no matter what, you know it's gonna be good for sure. So, I have no doubt that this game is gonna be terrible. I know it's gonna be good for sure.
Yeah, I mean, when Metal Gear Solid 5 came out, I don't know if you remember, but they took off the Hideo Kojima game on top of it. And so what I love is how they showed, like when the title screen came up, it showed Death Stranding, and then as it flipped to black, all of a sudden on top you just start seeing like a Hideo Kojima game just start stretching on the top.
Mm.
I was like, slap in your face, Konami, slap in your face. But yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. And my thoughts on it, which you guys can go see my post on INDUOGAMING.com. It's right there. I think Norman Reedus is his character is. I think it's gonna be the main character, the main logo for Kojima Productions. I think that's who's behind that mask.
I can totally tell by like its eyes. Like you can totally tell that's Norman Reedus' eyes for sure.
Yeah, when I saw Norman Reedus was coming out, I quickly flipped back to go to that picture. I was looking at the eyes. I was like, dude, those look like freaking Norman Reedus' eyes.
Yeah.
But what's weird is that Kojima was talking a little bit about the game, and he was talking about this writer that he liked, and how the writer was talking about how humans, we first started off with sticks.
Oh yeah.
And then he was like, then we got ropes. And it was just like this weird symbolic thing. I don't know. It was
super interesting though, like how he was saying how people use sticks because they don't want to go close, and how they use ropes to pull it. It was like a really cool explain. It just looked really interesting. I really liked the interview.
It was cool. I mean, like Hideo Kojima talks in real allegorical kind of way. Like he kind of has like a lot of analogies and different things like that. I don't think allegorical was the right word. But anyways, he uses a lot of analogies. And so like it just seems interesting. And it seems as if he wants to create a genre. Like he wants to create another genre. And I mean, Kojima created the stealth genre. Like we wouldn't have Ghost Recon games. We wouldn't have Splinter Cell. We wouldn't have those kind of games if it wasn't for Metal Gear. I personally believe. And so I think Kojima is like, since he has all the freedom in the world that he has, he says he wants to create a whole new genre. And what is that going to be? I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, it was hard for me to wrap my mind around like what kind of other genre is there that you can create.
Yeah.
But he says that the game is going to be geared a lot towards those who love Uncharted and The Division. So, hey, those games are both cool. I love Uncharted, so I'm pretty stoked for it. They brought back the Bandicoot Crash Bash, boy.
Oh yeah, man.
Crash Bash. What was your thoughts on that?
Dude, like once I heard that music, dude, I went crazy, dude. Like I remember that game back then, dude. That was literally one of my first games of all time, and that's probably my favorite games of all time. And that's practically why, like, I really like Microsoft, but Sony's always gonna be my favorite company of all time because that's like my first console, my first games ever. And dude, I remember that time when we woke up like at 4 a.m. and we like moved the TV and the console to our room. We started playing all day, dude.
Yep.
We're just playing Crash Bash and Bandicoot all the time, dude. Dude, those are the good times, and I can't wait to play that game again. And what's interesting is that how they said that the game's gonna be remade from the ground up. So I wonder how they're gonna like remake the whole thing. So
yeah. I'm dude. When he started walking out, and then you just hear the music in the background, and then the shadow was Crash. I was like, dude, they're doing it. They're doing it. And at first I thought they were gonna bring out a new game, and then they're like remasters. And I was like, at first I was thinking, oh, that kind of sucks. And then as I thought about it, I was like, no, that's actually really cool because literally our first console as kids that we ever had was a PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
That was the first console. Besides our Game Boy, we had a Sony device and we had a Nintendo device. Those were our first consoles ever. Everything after that was kind of like hand-me-downs. Like the Xbox that we had, it was a hand-me-down. PlayStation 2, it was a hand-me-down. And so, but we didn't get those till years later. And so practically the games that we had to play was, my first game ever was Metal Gear Solid on PS1. And then we had Crash Bash, and that was it. That was the games that we had. Then we had that demo disc that we just played. We just poured our hearts into because that was all that we had. And then for our Game Boy, we had Pokemon Silver, but those were the only things we had. And so so much memory was built around just those few games that we had. And Crash Bandicoot just has so much nostalgia to it. And I was just thinking to myself, I can't wait to play Crash Bandicoot Warped again, because there's just so much heart and I have this connection with that game. Like I know for a fact when I started up, and it just the first level plays like I just know for a moment I'm just gonna stop, take a breath, and be like, dude, I'm a kid again, man. Because
Yeah.
I remember me and Brandon, our brother, we were playing. We didn't have a memory card, and we're just trying to go as far as we can. And then mom was like, "Go to bed." We're like, "No!" and turn it off. Start all over again the next day.
Dude, we didn't have a memory card for like years, man. That's how we used to
Right.
play games all the time, man. No saving
Yep.
at all. It's
For
crazy.
sure. So I mean, I'm excited. I really am, and if they are gonna build it from the ground up, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna make Crash look a lot like Skylanders Crash.
Yeah,
So
which I'm kind of down about, but I just
you don't like it the way he looks?
yeah. I mean, the way like I remember when Skylanders came out, I always said that it was gonna be terrible and stuff like that, but it ended up being good. But the only reason why it was good was because it was more geared toward kids, and there wasn't a lot much for the adults and like nostalgia people. And so, yeah, I just don't know if the new Crash is gonna be like that, where it's just gonna be just for kids and not like that much for old players. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I agree, and I just hope that they don't do the Spyro treatment to Crash.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Even though I love Spyro, it just doesn't hold that much of a a place in my heart as Crash does. And
oh
Spyro is kind of now he's gone. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They just kind of used him as a way to promote Skylanders, and once Skylanders became its own thing, Spyro just got thrown into the mix of all those other characters.
yeah. Like
And so
nowadays they don't even call it Spyro anymore. Like he was only in for the first game. Now I've never seen a figure with him actually in it. They just like they technically just use the name. That's practically all they do with it.
right, I mean, and honestly, they do still have some Spyro figures.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, but I mean, what the only cool thing I guess that you can say, quote unquote, cool thing, is it Spyro and Crash in the same game. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
probably be the only cool thing. Which raises the questions: is there gonna be like a Spyro and Crash crossover? Like, is that a possibility?
Yeah.
If Crash remaster does well, are they gonna make like a true Crash sequel? And so I don't know. There's a lot of questions being raised about this one, but no matter what, I'm so excited about what they
Yeah.
talked about.
And I hope they're gonna stay with the platforming thing still, because platformers are like my favorite games a lot, because those were like the main games we played as kids, and like Spyro was a platformer, and then Crash Bash was also a platformer, and now that they have Ukulele coming out, and they also had Ratchet and
Yep.
Clank come out, those two
Yeah.
games seem like really good games as platformers too, especially for the new generation too. So I'm hoping they stick with the platforming part for Crash Bash. So
Yeah, I agree. And then they talked about Resident Evil 7.
oh
I was overly excited about it, and because I mean, Resident Evil 4, honestly, my favorite game from the Resident Evil series.
oh that's the one you played, right?
Yeah, I played that one at number 5.
Oh.
Which who am I to say it's my favorite game in the series if I haven't really played all of them? But anyways, I can voice my own opinion. Resident Evil 4, love that game. It was cool. Resident Evil 5 was more of a shooter. I remember me and Brandon playing that dual screen. It
Oh
really is
yeah,
not
that's the one
it's
where
not
like,
good.
the guy and the girl in the front.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I played.
was-
Didn't I try number 4 when I went over?
Yeah, you did, and then
Oh,
you
okay.
kind of like, you're kind of like,
Yeah, well, 'cause
this
it
game's kind of boring.
No, because there was something weird about. I think it was like the aiming or the controls or something like that. There was something weird about the controls.
Yeah, it takes a little bit to get used to. But yeah, talked about Resident Evil 7 called Biohazard. I think you kind of pronounce it Resident Evil Biohazard. I think that's how you say it. But they still integrated the 7 into it. They released a PT-like demo to PlayStation Plus members. Now, tell me, Nico, did you play that demo?
No, I did not.
Dude, I saw, dude, on the notifications that you played a little bit
No,
of it.
I accidentally started it and I turned it off immediately because I wasn't. I was gonna play a different game, but I accidentally clicked on it. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, I still admit I'm gonna try because I played instead of that game on Friday. I played Gone Home, and my goodness, that's another
Okay,
conversation
alright,
we gotta
alright,
have. But
All right, we'll talk about that one later.
yeah, but what was your thoughts on the thing?
So Resident Evil Biohazard. The demo was called The Beginning Hour. My bad. I honestly liked it a lot. It did have a lot of a PT film. The only thing was that I was freaked out a lot of the time. The only thing is, for some reason, the more I played that demo, the more I was kind of like just running through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was trying to just figure things out because there's multiple things that you can do.
Yeah.
And so once I played it once, you kind of figure out, oh, this is where all the jump scares are at. I would just run. And I'm like, forget this, forget that. Like, it's not scary anymore. When with PT, for some reason, and yes, it's a Hideo Kojima game. Everybody Hideo Kojima fan over here. But with PT, every single time I played it, I still felt this bit of uneasiness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's always two different type of horror games. There's the one with the jump scares, and there's just like that psychological one that really messes with your mind.
Right. And I mean, it's still a good game, and I would recommend you to play it. And it's good. There's different things that you can do, and it really was genuinely like, I did feel a little uneasy most of the time. I was playing it right next to Vanessa, and there's moments I paused the game. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this, dude. I can't do this. But it was good. Overall, it was good. And there some parts that really stuck out to me was there's a part in the game where you stick a VHS tape into a VHS like player, and the tape starts up. And when this tape starts up, you're looking through the eyes of the guy who recorded that video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you start moving as him. And it was kind of like this weird kind of Inception kind of feel, like this second layer to the game. I was like, dude, this is actually pretty legit. And in the game, there's moments to where, like, if you look correctly, like, you can see a ghost girl, and like she just vanishes out of nowhere. And I was like, dude, what the heck's going on? There's moments to where, like, you walk upstairs and you do something, and there's like mannequins against the wall. Like, the mannequins were looking at the wall, and so you walk by them and you're looking at this desk, and when you turn around, all the mannequins are looking right at you. And then you turn to your left, and there's a mannequin that was at the stairs that wasn't there before. And I was like, dude, what the heck is going on? But yeah, it was a good game. I liked it, and honestly, I when I first played it, I finished it in under like 15 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. It really wasn't that long, but it was me just doing what I was just doing whatever I just can do.
Yeah.
But over time, you kind of realize, okay, I did this, so I can do this differently, and then I did this the last time, so I can do this differently. So it's like that, but it was good.
One thing about that game is that that's like the first like actual true horror game, like actual good one for the VR. So yeah. I'm excited for that because practically for VR, for me, I think it's like made for horror games for sure.
Right.
And that's like a really good one to put on there. So but the one thing I did see on the trailer was that everyone was saying in the comments like 720p for VR. Like the graphics were not that good. It was like last gen graphics.
Yeah.
No, which was a really big downfall, but I just can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm excited for this game. It comes out January 24th next year, Q1, and it's it's kind of like the first true horror game we've ever had in a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's first person, which what doesn't make anything scarier than a first person game. And if whatever happened in this demo happens throughout the rest of the entire game, then you know what, give me some more, because it was actually pretty good, and it's good to get that dose of horror game that's a true horror game.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. What else did they talk about at PlayStation?
Spider-Man.
Oh yes, they dropped that Spider-Man, dude. Okay, yeah. So we talked about this. I thought it was gonna be Sucker Punch, man.
Yeah.
I literally thought it was gonna be Sucker Punch doing it, but then it came out being Activision, and when it first started out, and it was like Spider-Man like swinging all over the place, I was like, dude, I was flipping out next to Vanessa. I was like, dude, they did it. They did it. Like, Sucker Punch is making it. Sucker Punch is making it. And then all of a sudden the Activision logo came up. I was like, oh, forget this.
Yeah.
But
it still looks really good, though, even though it's not
Sucker
Punch. So,
it does. And I think the part that, I mean, I've played multiple Spider-Man games that are open, like, I guess you can say they're open world, but you just swing around all over New York. Played a lot of them, but none of them had like the part inside of the game where Spider-Man went into a restaurant, was jumping on top of like the column that was in the restaurant on top of a table, and then out through the window and just kept going and swinging.
Yeah.
Like that's not in a lot of other games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where you can like interact with like the buildings, and so that made me think like, dude, is there gonna be a lot more of that? Because if so, that'd be legit. Like you're just walking, and all of a sudden there's a dude on the other side of a building, and the only way you can go go faster is like just break through the window, get through the building, then jump out the next window and just keep going. Like that would add a lot of dynamic to the game, and a lot more, just sense of depth, and just like make the world feel more alive.
Yeah, and I feel like it's gonna be a lot like that one we had on the original Xbox. I think it was called Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
And I can see it has a lot of things from it. And Ultimate Spider-Man was one of my favorites because it's open world and you can do a lot in that game. And but of course my favorite of all time is the Spider-Man game in 2000. That's my favorite of all time. But But this game looks pretty promising, and it seems like it's gonna be the Spider-Man game us fans have all been waiting for. So
yeah,
it looks pretty solid.
I'm pretty sure Stanley's gonna make a cameo.
Yeah.
I know it, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
What did you think of his suit? It looked different from the Civil War suit for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't it like yellowish too?
No, it was still the same colors, red, black, white, and blue, but there was just a big white spider in the front. Like I haven't really seen that before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was that white spider that kind of looked different.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me if it's in a game. Like, if it was in a movie, of course, I'd be, like, pretty, like, crazy about it. But in the game, I don't know how it's going to be. But, I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look, like, that really super cool. But
yeah, I mean, it looks fine. Honestly, I'm not worried about it because I'm pretty sure you can be able to unlock a bunch, like, other costumes.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm just excited for that fact. Like, I'm just excited to unlock a cool costume and be like, you know what? Let's just keep going. And what makes it even cooler is that who made the 2000 Spider-Man game?
Wasn't that Sony?
Was it Insomniac who made that game, or was it Activision?
Oh, it was which is that one with the eyeball? You remember where we saw that?
Oh, Neversoft.
Yeah, that one. That was the one who made it. I remember we used to see that eyeball thing all the time at the beginning of the game, and it would show. I think it was Neversoft.
Yeah, I'm searching it up real fast because I need to know. Because if not, then my whole idea is gonna go out the window.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, dude, that game, that was the best game of all time, man. Best graphics too, man.
Okay, developers was Neversoft, Treyarch. Yeah, that was. Oh, publisher was Activision.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was Activision.
So the reason why I say this is what will be so cool in a legit flashback, dude. Like Throwback Thursday all the way is one of the unlockable suits is Spider-Man 2000.
Oh man, dude.
That'd be legit. Crazy. That'd be legit.
Totally.
But other than that, I think that was practically all of it for. They showed a little bit of Horizon Zero Dawn.
It looked pretty good.
It looks good. I really didn't need it. I'm kind of done at looking at some Horizon now. I'm just kind of waiting for the game now.
Yeah, that game does look really good, and the weapons and everything you use, it just looks very smooth and everything. I'm sure it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
Who's it made by?
Guerrilla.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They made what was the name of the game? Jeez Louise. Was it Resistance?
Resistance? What's that?
No, I don't think no. Man, I don't remember. Anyways, done with PlayStation.
Wait, hold on. Was there? There was something else. I forgot what it was. Okay, no, I don't think it. No, I'll search it up later. But
okay. After PlayStation was Nintendo. Before
I'm gonna guess I didn't watch any of that. Just.
Are you being for real?
Yeah, just says I didn't watch any of it that day.
Dude, go back and see some stuff, man.
I don't know.
All right. Well, it looks like I'm leaning this one more. Nintendo Showed a little bit more Pokemon Sun and Moon. Looks good. They showed 3 new Pokemon. Honestly, I'm very happy with these 3 new Pokemon. Big Pokemon fan all the way. I'm so. What makes me so happy about these 3 new Pokemon is that it doesn't look like a garbage bag or an ice cream cone. You know what I'm saying? It actually looks like a legit Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm totally excited for that game, and their legends look super cool.
I'm gonna say something about that game, but
What's up?
I'm sure a lot of people will totally disagree with this, but I feel like the Pokemon like is kind of like just like 3DS again. I don't like for sure it'll be on forever for sure, but I feel like it's kind of getting to that point where it's done.
You think so?
Yeah, cause like it's just like the same thing over and over again nowadays, and the stories aren't like all that great. And for sure, everyone it's always gonna keep on going no matter what, even if nobody starts playing it. It's always gonna go on. It's just Pokemon. But the only thing that I believe that can save it is how Pokemon Go, because it's something different and something that not everyone is used to. So, yeah, I feel like Pokemon Sun and Moon, it's gonna be just like another Pokemon. Like Pokemon X and Y were good because it was something different. It was 3D and everything. They did pretty good on it, but then they did the remaster thing, and then they're doing this one, and dude, I feel like it's like done, man. In my opinion.
Right. I mean, okay. What would you say if the next Nintendo handheld was a full-blown, powerful handheld, better than the Vita? You know what I'm saying? Like graphics are better, and they released a Pokemon game that was open world, beautiful. Beautiful Pokemon everywhere. Do you think that's the next step that they need?
Yeah. Well, just like in general, they need to do something different for sure. Like, just like how X and Y did. And if they do an open world, I think it would be pretty good. But, like, I don't know. I can't really see... Like, what do you mean by open world? You mean, like
so let's say when NX comes out, it's powerful. Let's say it's powerful. It can, run some really hardcore games on it. Let's say for some reason Game Freak's like, you know what? Let's just blow this out of the water. Let's make a game that's open world. Graphics look like Final Fantasy 15. Walking around, Pokemon are just running all over the place. What if they got a treatment like that?
Yeah, I think that would be good, for sure. Because didn't they do that to an old Pokemon game called Pokemon something Darkness?
Yeah, a little bit. It wasn't
something
open
like
world.
that. It wasn't open world, but like that's how kind of it was, kind of like a Final Fantasy type of like camera view, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. I played a little bit of that one. It was okay. You were very, 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 very limited as to what you can do in that game.
Okay, yeah, I'm just saying like how you view it, and I think it would be good if they did something like that, and I'm sure a lot of people would like it on like a not on a handheld but a console too. So because that would be a totally different thing for everyone, and especially if it's a good one too, and for that to come out and Pokemon Go to come out, 2 different things, that would be a good move for them. But for right now, how they're doing it with just same old 3D thing, I don't know about that unless they change it up. So yeah.
Yeah, and then after Pokemon, they showed Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, dude.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
The art style in that game is totally different. That was weird to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. And let me just throw this out there. I'm just going to throw this out there right now, guys. Everyone buckle up. Just have someone hold you back a little bit, okay? Have someone hold you back. But this game is not like no piece of garbage.
Whoa.
Like, this isn't like no Legend of Zelda, what was that GameCube one?
Oracle of Time?
No. The GameCube one, dude.
Oh,
the one where it was like...
GameCube.
Yeah, the one that was for the GameCube. It was like Small Link.
Small Link.
Dude, what the... Dude, are you for real, dude?
You mean
like
the 2D one?
He rides on the boat and everything?
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Oh, man, what's it called?
How the heck am I not even thinking? How is this not popping up into my head?
What's it called?
They remastered it.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda.
I have the poster literally in front of me.
It doesn't say the name of the game?
No.
What?
Man, what's it called? Alright, I gotta search this up. You keep on talking, but I gotta search this up.
Okay. Anyways, put your hands back again. Hold someone back again. Hold someone. Hold you back again. All right. This is no piece of trash remaster of a GameCube game. This isn't no piece of trash remaster Twilight Princess. This isn't no piece of trash Skyward Sword.
Whoa,
this ain't no
whoa,
piece of trash of
whoa.
all these different remastered Legend of Zelda games. All we've been having is just garbage of remasters over and over and over again.
No.
Over and over again.
No,
and this
no,
is
no.
finally the true sequel that we've been waiting for, dude. And I must tell you, congratulations, Nintendo. Congratulations, because they did it, dude. They did it.
No,
they did it.
How can you say that about Skyward Sword? You know that's my favorite Legend of Zelda game of all time.
I know it is.
Dude, oh my god, because that was like kind of like my first main one that I actually did, dude. Oh, how can you say that, man?
Dude, I just
and you didn't even play it, dude. You don't even know about it.
I did.
You did. Did you finish it?
I didn't finish it, but I to be 100% honest with you, I played a good chunk of that game.
That was an amazing game, dude. Amazing game.
Yeah, no, it's got nothing. Yeah, it wasn't good.
It was good because it was made for the Wii, dude. That was amazing, dude. You know what IGN gave it? A 10 and an editor's choice.
Let me tell you something, Nico.
Get that out of here, man.
Let me tell you something, Nico. That's coming from the guy who didn't even watch Breath of the Wild trailer, bro.
Oh, really? That's
so
cool that was.
So the game looks good, beautiful, open world. It's everything that I've been wanting, dude.
And the Wind Waker.
Wind Waker, there we go. Piece of garbage. Wind Waker, throw that
out. Okay,
Burn
I can. No, I wouldn't agree with it, but it wasn't.
Burn it.
Nah, right. Dude.
So, but yeah, what's one thing that's cool about Breath of the Wild is that they seem like as if they added some sort of technology, and some sort of ancient technology that Link can use, and like for some reason, like he can use it in the trailer show, like he can use it to bring up this block out of nowhere, and like it just forms out of nowhere, and then he just jumps on top of the block. But it seems like it's gonna have multiple use, and I think it's gonna be used also as well for the whatchamacallit, the bow and arrow that he had. But yeah, the game looks cool. I'm excited for it. I would buy an NX just for that game because that game looks good.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
That game does look really good, and like the art style is different. Like the way how you play is just really good. I like it. It's good.
Yeah. Yep. So that's it. E3 2016 for everybody.
Really
yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Hold on with that. Yeah, I guess practically.
Yeah, I think that's it. Any final thoughts?
I think. Well, who do you think won the conference?
PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them had their highs and lows, but probably PlayStation too. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, they just brought out the best games out.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone cares about when they come to these things. They care about the games.
Totally.
So I think PlayStation all the way. Well, there we go, guys. INDUOGAMING.com here. E3 2016 overview. It is I, Robert Rodriguez and Nico. And we are signing out.